In this video, we're going to discuss how the double slit experiment changed how we view manifestation. This was actually a spontaneous conversation we had earlier in the car while we were driving here in the mountains. This is my buddy, Peter.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, so manifestation is pretty interesting once you look into it, and especially with the double slit experiment. You know, what are your thoughts on the double slit experiment?
Well, I think we should start out from our conversation. So we basically just talked about it, what the double slit experiment says in general, which was they did an experiment and it changes the way. So if there's an observer, if there's like a person or a camera viewing the way that atoms or protons or neurons are shot through these slits, it changes the way that they act, which is pretty interesting, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because they acted like wave functions in the beginning when nobody was observing. However, after you observe it, these same, I'm not sure if they were atoms or if they were neutrinos or what they were, but they were just tiny particles. The tiny particles that they shot through the two slits after somebody observed them changed the way they acted, which was from a waveform, now that they acted like singular particles, which is fascinating, right?
100%. So it means like literally the observation collapses the wave function, right?
Yeah, and that can sound a little complicated or a little too woo-woo when you hear it at first, but what it basically means is in the beginning, when you're not observing something, there's possibilities because it's like a wave. So there's a lot of possibilities. It's all just different possibilities of the way that the universe or life or this reality can act out or can turn out to be. However, after you observe it, after there's a camera or a person watching, this manifestation of possibilities, like many different possibilities, turns into one certain possibility or one given outcome, right? That's what we talked about.
100%, and I think this ties really in nicely to like the whole personal development thing of the law of attraction and manifestation, which maybe you're into that, maybe you're not, but for me it makes a lot of sense intuitively how like and for example, in the past, I've like manifested things, a different YouTube channel. I had it on my vision board, right, where it was like 1,000 YouTube subscribers, and I kept on visualizing it and then took action on it. And eventually that became a real life experience. So I feel like once we visualize and we attune to that reality with our thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors, it's almost like a radio signal. We're broadcasting a new frequency, and we're actually almost like we're firing through that slit what we want, you know, and then it collapses it into the potential, like we all have infinite potential. Then it becomes your reality if you take action, if you think in new ways, if you change your identity, right? What do you think?
I mean, just to jump off of what Andy said right there, changing your identity, I can attest to this because this year here's just a tiny bit of background. So I've been a photographer for the last 10 years. And I've also played around with video a little bit, videography and filmmaking, but not a lot, right? And it's funny because, you know, this January or last December, I was really, or actually both of those months, I really just told myself, hey, I'm going to become a filmmaker now. I'm going to start making videos. And it's funny because it wasn't something that was just like, hey, I'm going to think it. It was something I felt. Like on the inside, like in my mind and in my heart, I just felt like I'm going to do this. And there was no doubt in my mind as well. It was just, I'm sure of this. I know it's going to happen. I don't know how, but I'm going to figure it out. Right. And that's something I wanted to say, that it's not as simple always as just saying or thinking you're going to do it. You have to feel it. Like I felt it in my bones. I know I'm going to do this. I don't know how yet, but I know I'm going to do it. And to be honest, that's something that I felt. I mean, of course, it was also a lot of action on my part, seeking out mentors, actually putting in the work, taking a look at how video editing works, how to shoot, what settings to use. But it was also a part of it was manifestation, because I felt it and I told myself, I'm going to do this. I got this. So that's a real world experience, you know? the handoff right there.
It's kind of awkward with the glove. And you know what's interesting? Like going even deeper, because we're talking about like quantum physics and stuff like this. In quantum physics, the many world interpretation postulates that there may be an infinite amount of parallel realities, right? And if we tie this in, this is just some theory, but to me it makes intuitive sense, that there may be a parallel universe where you already exist in your ideal reality, right? So there's an infinite number of parallel realities potentially. And by visualizing and stepping into this new frequency with your behaviors, and you're studying it and you're thinking about it, and you're stepping into that with taking action, then you're literally shifting to a parallel timeline. These are like parallel highways, because time is an illusion as well. Time, the future and the past is happening in the present moment, but it's like parallel. So it's like a sci-fi movie, right? Like, how like sci-fi movies become real if you look back like a few decades now. Like they have phones. There was like a smartphone, and it was like mind-blowing technology decades ago, and now it's a reality. So literally, like, I think we forget how amazing things are, that we have a phone, that we can record this on Bluetooth. It's like streaming through the air. So, and what I don't know if I said this earlier, but like one good example also is like in school. I remember in physics when I was like in school, much younger than now. And this teacher said, this table in front of you, it's physically dense, but it's actually empty space, 99.99%. It's just energy vibrating at different frequencies. See how this ties into mindset and everything, and taking action, the way you view yourself.
Right.
And it's all like interrelated. So I feel like you could shift to a parallel universe. It already exists. That's why Peter, what stood out to me when he just said that, he was like, I felt like it was already real. So in a way, he was attuning to like that different sector, that different parallel universe. He was embodying it now, feeling it now already, and thereby it attracted itself to him. That's why they call it the law of attraction as well.
And just to reiterate what we talked about before, that's so good that you said that, because it's just to make sure that you guys understand, it's not just thinking and not just writing down. It's about feeling it in your body, in your heart, that you're gonna manage it. Maybe you don't know how yet, but you're gonna figure it out.
The how is open to like intuition and the universe, and like what you feel inspired to do. Like your inspiration is like your connection to your soul and your higher self, or God, or whatever you call it, Allah, Buddha, it doesn't matter. It's all the same thing in my opinion. We're just a bit confused maybe with religion, fighting each other, have these dogmas and stuff, but they're all saying the same thing. Even Jesus said, I can't think of the quote right now, but he says something like, it's already, act as though it's already there and it will happen. I'm sorry for butchering that quote, but you know what I mean? Even he talked about the law of attraction. So there's some deep truth throughout history in this. There's books that have been speaking about this for a long time. A great book you can check out is Psycho-Cybernetics. It talks about your identity and how to change that with visualization. So that book, for example, says to get into a relaxed state, so you could meditate a little bit and then visualize for at least 5 minutes a day, right? You being that self, There's studies even that's mentioned in that book that like people that just practice and don't actually take action, they even get results, from their identity shift. So you don't only have to take action, you combine everything. If you do the inner and the outer, it's like superpowers. Some people think law of attraction means you just sit on the couch and visualize all day.
Right.
They have it wrong. Some people think it's only action. They have it wrong as well. It's like the middle ground. You need both, right? Yeah. The inner and the outer.
Yeah.
And then that's the yin and yang, the masculine and the feminine. That's how the fucking universe works, What do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would have to say is, just repeating what Andy said. It's, the only thing I was gonna say is an example, again, which was from that video making example. It wasn't only me thinking it and knowing it.
My arm's sleeping, sorry.
It was also me taking action, right? So taking editing courses, seeking out mentors, trying video out by myself, looking at different settings, figuring things out, and it's not only the thought, right, and the emotion and the feeling, but also the action.
Amazing. So if you want some help with this, like maybe you're like, oh, this sounds good, but how do I do this? Maybe I need help. You can schedule a free discovery call below this video, and we can have a chat to see if we can help you with this stuff and potentially help you level up, create the life you want, get yourself in the right direction. Maybe you also want to be on YouTube or be a photographer. I don't know. Maybe you have your vision for your life, and then we'll have a chat and see if we can help you. And other than that, we'll see you in the next video, my friend. Peace and much love.
Ciao, ciao.